This is Alicia Dubois, and I want to tell you about how to set up your exhibit for the Road to Athenaeum online event. If you haven't already, you'll need to log in to your exhibitor space. So if you click on Login in the menu, you'll get this form, and I'm going to log in as a test user that I've created for this tutorial. And it brings me right to this exhibitor home page. And there are a bunch of links here. I will let you explore them. I'll just point out a couple of quick important ones. Exhibitor releases. This is where you can download the releases that we need in order to publish your exhibit. And feedback, which is a form that you can use to contact us directly, the administrators of this site directly, and tell us what's working, and more importantly, maybe what's not working, things that are frustrating you about this process, this interface, this event. And we're really interested in your feedback because this is something we haven't really done before. So this link, An Introduction to Editing in WordPress, is from wordpress.org and has some more information in it than what I'm going to show you today, but this can be a good resource if you want to find out some more things that you can do. So with that said, all you have to do to start creating your exhibit is click on either Exhibitor Editing Area or this Editing is Now Open link, and it'll take us to the editing area. Okay, the first thing you see is the dashboard. And it says this is a section where you will create your exhibit page, and you have several tools available to you. Dashboard is this page, how you get back to the screen. Exhibit is where your exhibit page is. Media is where all of your images and any files that you upload, but not your release forms, will be stored here. And you can delete images from there also. Profile is another way to update your user profile, and we'll talk about that another time. So for now, let's go into Exhibit. And you'll see a draft. So that means that it's not published. It's not visible from the public website. And it has your name as the title. And you're able to change that. It's just the default. So we're going to start editing. Click on Edit. And when the page comes up, you'll see that you have two areas. So this left area is where you will do your writing and add your photos and all of that, or your files. And then over here are the options for the area that you're editing. The WordPress editor uses components called blocks. So this here is the title of the page, and that'll show up at the top of the page that you create. But then these things here, this and this and this, these examples, and there's more here. This is just an example of how your page could look. You don't have to use this order or this format, but these are some common components. These are called, WordPress calls these blocks. So on the right side, if you click on a block, you'll see options for that block. If you click on the title, or if you click outside of the blocks, you'll see that the options on the right change to document, and that applies to the whole page. And we'll use more of these as we go along. For now, I want to put in a project that I did a long time ago that we're just going to use as an example to show you kind of what's possible or what you might want to do in your own project. So first thing I'm going to do is change the title. And I'm going to call this project Byzantine Sergeantry Scroll. Okay, so that's my new title. Now the heading, and you'll notice here it says H2, that's the heading level. So just like in an outline, and I would recommend doing an outline if you haven't already, just like in an outline, the heading level, the smaller the number, the larger the heading. So I'm going to start out with the first section in my project, which was the goal. And in the flow of my own project, having a photo gallery here doesn't actually make sense. I want some text. So I'm just going to hit enter, and it will automatically create a paragraph for me. That's the default block that gets added. So the goal is to create an original scroll. Okay, so next in my documentation, I have an image. So I am going to add an image to this gallery section. I could just add a single image because a gallery is really good for showing multiple images. So actually I'm going to do that. If I click on the paragraph above here, because I want the image to be right below it, a plus appears. And if you click on this plus to add a block, it will show you all the blocks that are available to you. If you look at some tutorials, especially that WordPress.org page that I mentioned earlier, you might see more choices here for blocks. I've actually limited your choices so that it wouldn't be overwhelming or too confusing. We also want to limit the elements that each exhibitor can use because we don't want to create an uneven playing field. So I'm just going to add a plain image, and I have uploaded my media already, so I'm going to go to Media Library, but if you choose upload, you still get taken to the Media Library. You still have a chance to do that. So here are all the images I've uploaded for my page, for my project. If I wanted to upload another one, I would just go to this tab here and then select the file, click this select files, or I could also drag and drop onto here, and it would upload the photos and put them in my media library. Notice that I can only see my own images. These are images that I have uploaded, but I can't see anybody else's. So that's a good thing. It would get really, really confusing if I could see everybody else's images and they could see mine. So this is the image that I want. So I'm going to click on it and hit select, and it puts it in there for me. If I want, I can add a caption. Okay, right now, by default, this image is centered, aligned to the left. And I want it to be in the middle. So I'm just going to choose center alignment. And this will also be centered. Oops, I spelled believed wrong. This text will be centered underneath it. So let's look and see what it looks like so far. So we can preview the page and see our work in progress here. Okay. So we have the title and my first heading, goal, and then here it is. And there's my image centered in my page. And then we get down to the rest. So at the bottom of every page, there will be this leave a reply, leave a comment. and this might say leave a comment by the time these pages actually go live. I might change that. And then below this form will be the form where people can request a conference. But right now, this is looking pretty good. This is looking like what I want it to look like. So I'm going to go back to this tab here, our exhibit page, and work some more on the content. Okay, the next section, I have another heading. So I'm just going to put in a heading, and it's called requirements. I'm just going to copy and paste the text from my documentation that I've already written. And I actually copied and pasted 2 paragraphs, and you can see that it got the paragraph breaks in there for me. Okay, next I have another heading. And it's called Progress Steps. And then I have a subheading under that called Inspiration. And over here on the right, I'm going to just click on H3 to change it to the next level heading down. Again, this default block is a paragraph, so I'm just going to paste my text in there. Okay, next comes a heading called Research. Oh, I made that a paragraph by mistake. But if I go up here, I can change a paragraph into a heading. And again, I'm going to make it H3. And I had a couple of items under research, so I need another heading called Design. And this, if this was an H3, this is going to be an H4 then. And I've got another heading about the award text. It's going to be a 4 as well. Got a lot about the text. Okay, now up here in design, I want to add an image, and I want the image to I want the text to kind of wrap around the image. So I want to show you how to do that. So first you add an image block after it. That's okay. And I want to use this one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this image, click on it, I actually want it to be on the right, and drag it into the award text, and then make sure that this is set to align right. I can choose to have it aligned left, and maybe I'll like that better, but for right now I want it aligned right. And the caption for this is not town. Oh, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to save that. Okay, let's preview it. So now you can see that there's my image. There's the stuff that I've added. But now you can see this table of contents appears at the top, and it also appears over here. If you have more than 3 headings, it will automatically create this table of contents for you, so we can jump right down to each section within the text, and that's just something that'll happen automatically. Oh look, this image actually is starting here with the word text, and it actually goes with the design section, so I want to change that. I didn't notice that when I put that together before. So what I actually want to do is drag this image up. Actually, what I'm going to do is drag this image up here. I moved it up here with this little arrow. So now it goes with the design section. Oh, and I can actually even move it up one more so that it is flush with the top of the design section. Let's take a look at that. I'm going to use the table of contents to get down to the section. Yes, that is what I was looking for. My caption's a little funny here, but that's okay. I'll work on that later. Okay. The next thing in my text is a wide image. Again, not a gallery, just a single image. So I'm going to insert a single image. Choose the wide image here and put in my caption. Okay, and then I've got another heading. And this is also a 4. Let me just double check. Yep, it's the same level as this, so it's a 4. And then I'm going to add a paragraph. Okay, now I need another heading. And this is going to be a 3. And then another heading that's going to be my next 4. And a paragraph. Oops, that's supposed to be a 4. By default, it will make it a 2, heading 2. Okay, and I've got an image I want to put on the right here that goes with something else. Okay, it actually goes further down. Okay, I have an image that I want to put in here next to calligraphy hand. Oh, but I didn't upload it. So this is a good example. I can find it here. Here it is. Oh my goodness, it's really, really big. See how big that is? I just want it to be a small image. I want it to be, let's see, I want it to be maybe half this size. Let's just say 500. Oh, even that seems big. It's wider than it is tall, so maybe, let's say 300. Okay. And then I'm going to go back, and I see how it's 300 now. I will use that, and I want to align it right again, and it will go next to calligraphy hand. Okay, let's see how we're doing. Okay, it's looking good. Looking good. Okay. So now, okay, design transfer, then comes another heading, calligraphy. Is that a 4? Yes. Okay. And then I've got another heading. And that should be a 4. Okay, here I talk about an image. This one. Ah, but it's so big. If I just drag it like this, I can make it smaller. That's another trick for resizing your image. You can also use the image sizing over on the right here. Too big, too big, oh, too small. Okay, let's go with something custom. That looks good. Okay, so now I've got calligraphy, painting, and then okay, here's where I want to do multiple pictures. So I'm going to use this gallery block finally. And I'm going to choose 2 pictures. And see the little check marks in the top right? You can click on the minus sign and unselect it. Or if you just click on the image, it will select it. And you can tell down here how many items you have selected. I'm going to say create new gallery. And then here I can change the order of them if I want to, but this is the order I want them in. And it will insert them next to each other. If you put attached to link to media file here, I'll show you what happens, and that's probably what you want to do for all of your gallery images. So let's preview this. If I click on the image from the gallery, it will show you the full size when you click on it. Whereas a regular image doesn't do that. So if you want to use images instead of galleries instead of images, you can do that too. Let's change this to a gallery. And preview that. And just scroll down here. It was this one. Oh, I didn't set link to media file. So now if I click on it, it shows you the bigger item, the bigger picture. And then I can scroll through all the images in the piece. Oh, and I like that better because you can actually see the pencil drawings on top. Excellent. Okay, so if we scroll down here to this image and we click on it, it pops up. And I actually like this better because you can see the pencil lines. Okay. Oh, and it'll do a slideshow through all of the images that are in galleries like that. So that's great. I'm happy with that. Okay. The last section that I have is of text is ideas for improvement. So I'm going to just use this paragraph here. And, oh, I forgot to put the heading in. That's okay, I'll just put the heading underneath. And then I can move it up like that and rearrange it. This little separator I thought would be good for separating the text from the citations, but you could also use this for separating, like I could use it here to give a little bit more space between the previous section and this section, because if you notice here, it kind of didn't leave very much space there. So I like that. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my citations, or my bibliography, I guess. So I have this written in my document, and I'm just going to, this is just a list type of thing, and I'm going to paste that there. And you can see that it looks like a link, and I actually have a link to go with it, but these are just links to Google that I used for examples. So I'm just going to edit this, and then I want to show you this, open in a new tab. So this is off and this is on. I want this link to open in a new tab of somebody's browser if they click on it, because I don't want them to be taken away from my page when they just want to follow one of my links. So opening in a new tab is a nice way to keep my exhibit open for them. Okay, now I'm going to put in some more. And if I just hit enter here, I'll get another bullet point. Oh no, it only made this part the link, and I wanted it to make the whole thing the link. So I'm actually going to click on the part that is the link and break it. I'm going to highlight the whole thing that I want to be a link and do that again. almost done. Okay, there are my citations all put in. One more section that I didn't add before. Okay, one of these is actually a video. Let's say that I want to embed this video in my piece here, in my exhibit. Let me go back up to where I was discussing my inspiration. Okay, so now that I've got all of my content in and all of my headings and all of my citations, I want to make sure that I didn't leave any of the sample text out. I didn't. That's good. Here's stuff about the table of contents. You don't need to fiddle with anything like this, any of these things, if you don't want to. If you would rather not have the table of contents inserted at all, you can click this here. But for the most part, if you have a longer document, it will really help people navigate around it. Okay, so before we go, I want to show you the options here under the right side for document. Your post status should be a draft. When you're ready to publish, you can change it to pending review, and then this will save as pending review. But we're going to keep it on draft for right now. There are a couple other things that you will want to see here. So first is probably this checklist. These are the things that you need to complete in order to have your exhibit published. So excerpt has to have text, that you have to have a featured image, you have to have a signed photography release submitted, and a signed creative works release submitted. These two you can check off yourself. So when you have submitted those two things, you can check them off. But the featured image and the text excerpt will be checked off automatically for you when you do those things. So under excerpt, you'll see this says it's optional, but down here I've required it. So what an excerpt is here, I'll show you. If we go to the category helpful articles here, this is the featured image that we're about to add, and then this is the excerpt. This is what you see before you get the continue reading button. And then once you hit continue reading, then you'll see the whole thing. So you want this to be kind of a one paragraph summary of your exhibit. So let's see. I'm going to say that this is a custom scroll made for a sergeant of Madrona to commemorate his achievement. Oh, I spelled achievement wrong. There we go. Okay, and you see how this has has turned green and it has a check mark now. The other thing we need to add is a featured image. Now your featured image should really be 1200 pixels wide, 1300 pixels wide by 400 pixels tall. So you want it to be very wide and not very tall. So if I click here on Set Featured Image, I'm actually going to use, let's see, I'm going to use, oh, that one's really small. Look, not 1300 wide by 300 tall at all. So that's probably going to look pretty blurry. That one's a little bit better, but it's still not very good. I think I prepared that one. Yeah, 1300 by 400. And I prepared that one before this video. Okay, then when we preview this, it will show us the featured image right at the top of the page. And there is my completed entry, my completed exhibit page. And my list of citations. So hopefully this was a helpful tutorial. I wanted to make sure that I explained a couple more things over here on the sidebar. So I made an update so that the featured image is not required. It's highly recommended though, and I'll show you why, because here you can see the helpful articles page. But these images shown here are the featured images of these articles. So when the exhibits are displayed on the website, they're going to look very similar to this. And if you don't have a featured image, your article is just going to look like text. So it will stand out more if you do have a featured image. The other thing that I wanted to show you is the discussion button here. You want to make sure that this is checked, allowed comments. Otherwise the leave a comment form won't appear, and you won't get feedback. You won't get people commenting on your exhibit page. The last thing I wanted to show you is the difference between preview and draft. So with preview, you are temporarily saving what you've done, your work on the page, and it will show you the preview in a new window. And then when you make updates to the page, it will automatically refresh this page with your changes, which is really nice. But when you are done working for a little while, or you haven't previewed it for a few minutes, you should definitely hit Save as Draft. And that will just save your work as you're going along. Like I said before, when you are all done editing and you're ready for it to be published, just switch the post status here to pending review. This text will change up here that says Save as Pending Review, and you can just hit that button, and the Submit for Review button, and that will send a message to the admin team saying that your content is ready for review. One of the things that we're going to be looking for when we review your content is whether or not you've actually turned these in. So you can check them off when you've done it, but we're going to be checking for those releases. We actually can't publish your exhibit without them. So if we go through and review your content, but we still don't have these, we're just going to reach out to you and ask you to fill those out and submit them for us. Other than that, if you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to us using the feedback form, and we will do our best to answer your question right away. Good luck, everyone. Can't wait to see what you come up with.